What is going on, y'all? Psych Perspectives, GeoFucks, and people are tired of being broke. People are tired of living check to check. People are tired of going without. People are fed up for good reasons. And you know, whether you're looking at people talking about the cost of living and inflation and price gouging on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Big O Live, Patreon, shit, your personal life, your colleagues, your friends, your family, your loved ones, etc. This seems to be the hot button topic for good reason. I personally am trying to figure out how people are going to stay afloat with student loan payments going back in 2 weeks. August 31st is when you're going to get your first actual statement telling you that you owe this for the following month, and those payments are going to be due October 1st. So I'm really trying to figure out how that's going to play out for a lot of people when that is a bill that a lot of us have not had to pay for 3.5 years. So it is going to be interesting to see how people are able to manage that, because from March of 2020 to the end of August, early September 2023, the cost of living and inflation and the price gouging has significantly increased, where our wages and salaries have not, and we haven't had to pay this bill for 3.5 years. So a lot of people have taken on additional responsibilities, additional costs, because everything has gone up. So we're paying more for the exact same thing, but we're not being paid more. So to see how a lot of folks are going to stay afloat is definitely up in the air, is definitely questionable, and quite frankly is scary. Because, case in point, speaking from a personal perspective, you know, 3.5 years ago, I didn't have a monthly car payment. I was driving a 2009 Chevrolet Malibu that died September or Labor Day weekend. Labor Day 2022, it died. And then in February of this year, I had to get a new car. I have to have transportation. So I don't really know where my monthly payment is going to be coming from, because I now have to pay $441 a month for a car payment. So a lot of us are in that situation where is this extra money going to be coming from to pay the student loans? Because now I'm allocating money for a car payment, you know, and because it's a newer car, my car insurance also changed, right? Because you go from not needing full coverage to having full coverage. So that's another added cost that I didn't have, you know, 3.5 years ago. So, you know, and basing it off of my income, I think my payments are going to still pretty much be between $120 to $200 a month for my student loan payments. So that's going to be, you know, how are we going to find that extra $120 to $200? Where is it coming from? And for a lot of us, it's going to be about needing to add a part-time job, add another side hustle, or you're really going to be robbing Peter to pay Paul. So in this sense, there's already a poll that's out that 56% of student loan borrowers are going to have to determine if they're paying their monthly student loan debt or are they getting groceries. Because where is that extra money coming from? Like, you know what I'm saying? So now people are going to be reducing groceries to pay for student loans. And we're paying for a debt for pieces of paper that have little to no value economically, financially, you know. And I think that's what adds on to the frustration, is that You want us to pay back money for degrees that have no value economically, financially. And we were lied to in the first place about the importance of that education. Because again, when you look at millennials, Gen Z, I'm just going to say it. When you look at Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, you're talking about 3 generations that were basically force-fed a propaganda about getting a college degree so they can have a career, so they could be middle class. And as many of us have seen, we're nowhere near the middle class, and arguably the middle class doesn't even exist anymore. So, and here it is, and I talk about it all the time. I have 4 college degrees, countless certifications, 10 plus years of direct work experience, and I have a master's degree, graduate level, the one step away from a PhD, and I make $40,000 a year gross annual income before taxes and deductions. Again, I'm quite sure, speaking for me, I damn sure didn't go to college thinking that I was going to be making $40,000 a year. If that was the case, I didn't need to go to college for that. I mean, literally, there are car washes in my area advertising $15 to $20 an hour because that's how bad they need help. Meanwhile, I'm supposedly making $19.30 an hour at my job when I could go work at a car wash and get $20. So, and I'm just going to go on and say it. Regardless of your field, regardless of your education, your work experience, I firmly believe people deserve living wages. And at the same time, I also believe those of us who went the extra mile, we got degrees, we have certifications, we have years of experience, we have a combination, we should be paid more. It is what it is. We went the extra mile. I don't think it's really that we're wrong for wanting to be paid more than someone who has no education, who has no years of experience. And at the same time, the person with no years of experience, no education, should still be paid a living wage, in my opinion. But that's just it. If the person with the years of experience and the education is being paid $19.30 an hour, but then the person with no education or experience is being paid $20 an hour at the car wash, you can see what are we doing here? Why should I stay working where I'm working when I can go get a job that has less requirements and less responsibility and be paid the same or a little more? I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing it out there. And I think a lot of us are having that thought process. Because it's like, here it is, you're demanding us to have a bachelor's degree. I literally have 2 job titles. You're demanding us to get certifications and to continue education credits to maintain the job. I'm literally a case manager for a statewide program for 3 different fucking counties in the state. I'm also on a committee for a statewide housing plan program. I'm also have 2 job titles, right? Because I'm also the outreach person, and I'm also the person who teaches the classes and does the financial coaching and the case management and has to do the data and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, when I could be washing cars for $20 an hour, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of us are starting to have those conversations because it really is just getting to the point where this is fucking ridiculous and we deserve better pay and we shouldn't have to keep going back and forth about this. I really do believe that employers need to be mandated to pay living wages, and living wages need to reflect the cost of living and take inflation, aka price gouging, into consideration. We were just talking about this today. $60 in 2007 is the equivalent of basically $90 today. So why are you still paying us $60 like it's 2007 when it does not have the same weight and value? That 60 today needs to be 90. So you got to ask yourself, why is it that everything around us, right? Rent, cars, food, insurance, clothing, you name it, goods, services, all cost 2 to 3 times more than what it cost 3.5 years ago. But yet our wages are not 2 to 3 times more than what it was 3.5 years ago. Nope, we're still being paid like it's pre-COVID. And arguably, we're still being paid like it's 2003. And that's where the frustration lies for myself, and I feel like a lot more people are feeling the same way I'm feeling. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, and it just feels like, me personally, I just feel like I wasted 13 years pursuing education that was useless economically, financially, wasting years of my life that I'll never be able to get back. And here it is. A lot of us thought that by us following directions, following what we were told to do, we thought we were going to get a good payout. We thought our return on investment was going to be good. And obviously, there is no return on investment with the vast majority of these degrees, financially, economically. Because again, if I would have known what I know today 13 years ago, there's no way in hell I would have wasted time going to college. I'm going to just keep it real. And if I did go to college, it was going to be for a skill trade. It was going to be like HVAC, plumbing, computer technician, things of that nature. Or LPN, RN, stuff like that. It wasn't going to be for what I went to school for. You know what I'm saying? Because again, there's no return on investment. I mean, you're basically making the same amount of money as somebody without education, without years of experience. So there's no real reason to be going to school for that. And then here, we have to pay this money back. I owe, $46,000 in student loans. And I have a $25,000 car loan that I'm paying off. $3,000 of credit card debt. So when you add all of that up, it's just like, I'm almost at $100,000. No, but I'm at about $85,000 worth of debt between credit card, student loans, and a car loan. And then it just really hits you. The USA is essentially a corporation and a predatory lender. Because again, why is everything here directly related to people being in debt? Like, there's no way for people to live here without taking on debt. And that makes no sense. Like, you're not going to have a positive, healthy economy with everybody rolling around in debt, not making enough money to live, and having to rely on debt on a consistent basis. Like, this country is just complete, in my opinion. This country is a shit show. Okay, it is literally hell in a handbasket at this point, because this is ridiculous. And we keep putting corporations over people. We keep putting profit over people. We keep putting the rich and wealthy over the vast majority of the poor, working class, working people. Because like I said earlier, we don't really have a middle class anymore. We basically have the haves and the have-nots. There's no middle ground. And a lot of us thought that we were going to get to the middle ground, the middle class lifestyle, by following the orders that were giving to us. And a lot of us are seeing that, you know what, we were better off not listening to our parents, to our families, to the schools, to the teachers, to the guidance counselors. I mean, we've literally have been paddling up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. And it's just been one economic downturn from the next. And then every time you turn around, you're trying to stay afloat. You're trying to, you know, dig your way out of debt, but with what resources, you know?